Hi, I'm Joshua Farnsworth, and welcome to woodandshop.com. As part of the 10 steps of getting started in traditional woodworking, we're going to be talking about finishing. As with everything else that I've talked about, there are a lot of things to learn, a lot of options. I'm just going to tell you some of the basics here, and I'll go through each of these finishes and just give kind of an overview of them. You can look into them more deeply, and the best thing to try is just to try it out, but I'll talk about some of my favorites. A couple things up here that you'll be surprised to see up here is sandpaper. It's not typically a very traditional, I guess it's somewhat traditional, but a lot of woodworkers kind of look down on it and instead prefer to finish before putting on the actual finishes. They prefer to prepare the wood with smoothing planes and cabinet scrapers or card scrapers, and then the idea is to put different types of finishes on. Some of them can go together, and then you kind of finish it up. Some of them you kind of finish up with a wax. So there's a lot to learn. I do use sandpaper sometimes, mostly on my tools when I'm trying to refurbish my tools. So let's get into it and learn about some finishes here. Another very traditional finish is milk paint. You can mix white with a lot of the different colors and end up getting a mixture, a color that you like, but I like using earth pigments with mine. Some people also put boiled linseed oil over the top and a shellac finish. I've done that, and it gets really great looking results. Shellac is a really popular finish, especially as an overcoat finish among woodworkers. It's really fascinating. It comes from a female lac bug from India and Thailand. So you can call it a shellac bug if that helps you remember. It dries very fast. It's kind of hard to work with, but it can give you a really beautiful finish if you're willing to put the effort into learning it. I've never really had luck with polyurethane, but it's probably the most durable finish, and if you can really experiment with it and learn how to do it, then go for it. A lot of traditional woodworkers really like to work with these tung oil varnishes. They, especially Waterlox, provides a more tough finish than Danish Oils. It protects the surface more, but I find that the Waterlox is kind of tough to not get streaks on vertical surfaces. But the normal tung oil finish is more of a hand-rubbed product and looks really nice. Danish Oil and teak oil are more natural finishes. I especially like Danish Oil. Teak oil is mainly especially for things like teak, mahogany, and rosewood, but Danish Oil works really well, especially on things. I like it on walnut and cherry, but still not my favorite. If you're making wooden spoons or cutting boards, salad bowl finish is really good because it's non-toxic and it puts a really strong finish on it. I use it on my pieces that are going to be touching food, and it seems to work well. But the winner for me, my favorite finish to apply is a linseed oil, and I'll share in some other videos the actual process of putting it on. But I like to put boiled linseed oil on and one or two coats, rubbing it in, letting it dry overnight, and then putting a nice coat of wax polish. And I'll share some links to my favorite wax polish. But what it does is when you buff it out, it just gets this beautiful sheen on it. Yeah, it's not as protective or as hard as some of the other ones, but if you need to repair it, there's nothing easier than repairing and reapplying a finish like this. It'll blend right back in. So I hope that's been informative to you. I'm still learning a lot, and if you keep checking back on my website, you'll see more and more finishes. It's like recipes. There's so many different ones to try. So I'll put some of my favorites, especially my one with the boiled linseed oil and the wax. I'll share that. I've got a video that you can see about that. So check out the website. Thanks for watching.